Hello everyone, my name is Where We Don't Care My Name Is, and here we go with my top 5 worst films of this year. Now, 2018 gave us both good memories and bad memories. Good memories that we will be able to take with us and keep it close to our hearts, while a lot of bad memories that we're glad we're going to be leaving behind as we get to 2019. But, of course, this year also provided us with a lot of good films that we sat back, enjoyed, and are very happy how well they went, especially with the big build-ups they got. But then there are all the other films that got a lot of build-up, got a lot of hype, that didn't exactly do very well. And that's what we're taking a look at. For this video, I'm taking a look at films that got a lot of build-up, got a lot of hype, but ended up being complete failures. And for this list as well, I'm only focusing on films that are my opinion. I'm sure other people have different opinions. I know other people have already done their own top, something videos of what they thought is the best and worst films of this year. But this is just my opinion. So if anyone has a different opinion, I understand. But this is just what I think, and we're going to take a look at the list. So let's get started with number 5. Number 5 is The Fantastic Beasts, The Crimes of Grindelwald. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, I love the first all the Harry Potter films. I like the first Fantastic Beasts film because, it had been years since we saw a Harry Potter film, or at least one in the Harry Potter universe, so it was welcoming. I think a lot of people didn't mind it and were hoping this would do well, and it did do well. The only problem was, I think a lot of people hated, Johnny Depp as, the main villain. And it also didn't help that Johnny Depp tried to pull a Loki at a Comic-Con, and a lot of people were not happy with that, because a lot of people were hoping that the next film would step away from Johnny Depp, but I guess not. Now, is Johnny Depp the reason why this film didn't do so well? Not really. The story for this film, it's kind of boring. I didn't remember much any of it, except for a few things, but even then, there's some plot holes here and there, and it's, just trying to explain everything. It's really boring. There's really nothing in it that gets you excited, and you're just waiting for something to happen. Now, the good news is, our main character, and the actor who plays Dumbledore in this film, the young version of Dumbledore, the interaction between the two of them is actually very good. I actually like the interaction between these two characters, and they're both probably the only good thing of the film. The other characters, not really. The sidekick coming back, that made no sense at all. They explained why he was not going to come back, but apparently he came back and has his memories all along. That makes no sense, but whatever. Magic, I guess. But yeah, all the other characters are not that interesting at all. I do not like Johnny Depp in this film at all. His characters, the last few years that he's played, the roles he's played, it's really made me no longer like him anymore, and he really should step away from these sort of films. I will give this film credit. The special effects are not bad, but when you've seen all the Harry Potter films and all the special effects they use, you are kind of not surprised with any of the stuff they show here. So, it is disappointing, but, it is what it is, but hopefully it makes back a lot of its money so they can try to make this up as they go on to the next film. So, number 4 is A Wrinkle in Time. Films based on novels should probably be better, especially with the right studio working on them. But with Disney, though, they don't really have a very good track record when it comes to doing live-action films that are not Marvel or Star Wars based. It's really disappointing with this film because the actors who they got into this film, you would think, okay, they should be good. They should be able to help this film, but not really. The story for this film is much like the Fantastic Beasts film. There's really nothing in this that keeps your interest. It's rather boring. It's very long, and I don't know, just nothing keeps you hooked on it. It's really boring, and this fantasy world they created, the explanation of all of it, isn't explained very well, and that's kind of a problem. The characters, I like some of the celebrities they brought into this film, but it's really not enough to help carry the film. The film is really focused on these 3 kids, and even then, they're not really strong enough to help carry the rest of this film, and I think that's a huge problem, especially when they're not likable, when they're not that good. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm sure they're better actors than me, but what I'm saying is that when you have kid actors, they should be able to keep the audience interested in them. You want to see them succeed, you want to see them make it out of the situation they're in, but you don't really care because these kids just don't make you want to care about them. The special effects for this, I've seen so many fantasy movies so many times. It's really nothing new. I've seen this so many times, and it is disappointing. I wish it was done a little better, but whatever. I was originally going to put the Nutcracker on this, but after seeing the past Nutcracker films they've done before, including the 3D one, that one's not the worst of the worst. And trust me, A Wrinkle in Time is much worse. Alright, number 3 is Solo, a Star Wars story. You know, when you think of making a Star Wars story after the success of Rogue One, what's the first few characters that you would want to see them do another Star Wars story of? Could it be Master Yoda? Could it be Darth Maul? Could it be Boba Fett? Could it be Ahsoka Tano? Or could it be Darth Raven? Yeah. Why don't they do a story of any of those characters? Hell, do one during the Old Republic era where we had the Sith and the Jedi fighting against each other. That would be cool. Imagine the different things you could show in that movie. That'd be awesome. And of course, with Ahsoka's popularity, you could do a lot with that story and show what she's been through. I mean, we have the book, but it'd be nice to see on the big screen as well. Or one with Darth Maul, or one with Boba Fett, or finally we find out more about Master Yoda. Yeah, why can't we have that kind of story? Oh wait, you want to do a story about Han Solo? Why? Han Solo, don't get me wrong, I love him, but why? Yeah, that's kind of the problem with this story, is that you really aren't interested, you really don't get interested or get hooked on this story of Han Solo because there really isn't much to Han Solo that we don't already know. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Han Solo, but nothing in this story makes me want to sit down and watch and everything, because I already know a lot of stuff about Han Solo. I've looked up both the canon and legendary versions, but yeah, it's just, wow, this was really disappointing. Now, thankfully, to this movie's credit, they did get a very good actor to play Han Solo and one to play as Lando Calrissian. But even then, they're not enough to save this film. Like, everyone else is just so boring. I don't really care about any of them, except Chewie. Chewie, they better not kill him off in the next film, but you get the idea. All these other characters are not that all interesting. The special effects, I've seen so many Star Wars films, nothing about this is really interesting, except for the train scene and them being chased around by TIE fighters. I thought that was kind of cool, but I've seen so many of these different stories, and so many of them are just the same thing. And what made Rogue One good was that we didn't know anything about these characters going into this film. We didn't know anything about them. We actually are hooked on it. We're very attached to these characters, and when they're killed off, we do feel bad. And yeah, that's what I missed. We didn't get that here. Now, I think the other reason why this film didn't do so well was we were still recovering from Star Wars fatigue, so that may have played a factor in this, but yeah, this film did not do very well. It did not. So, let's get on to number 2, shall we? Number 2 is The Predator. I mean, seriously. The first Predator, awesome. Second Predator movie was good. Third one, Alien vs. Predator. I love the fight scene with the Alien and Predator fighting. Then we had the second Alien vs. Predator movie. I don't count that, that one sucked. Predators. Didn't like it at all, but I thought it was, some things about it was okay. So, after years, we were finally going to get another Predator movie, and they said this was going to be a sequel of the first one, so I thought, okay, there we go. This is going to be awesome. And apparently we're going to have a huge super Predator there that apparently has been injecting itself with other DNA to make it so more powerful. I thought, yeah, that's going to be great. Maybe the Predator can work with the humans. They can fight together and defeat this Predator. That's awesome. How does it go? It's boring. Literally, that should excite people. Like, that whole scenario, you could excite people with that kind of story. Humans, Predator, working together, defeat the Super Predator. That should be awesome. We don't get that. None of that at all. Nothing in the story makes any sense. This Predator comes to Earth, wants to give humans a Super Predator weapon to kill off these other Predators because we're endangered, I guess. I don't know. That makes no sense, but whatever. Point is, that's pretty much the plot of the story, and apparently there's this little kid who's the chosen one or something. I don't know. Like, seriously, nothing in the story made any sense. And none of the characters, my god, none of the characters were likable at all. Well, maybe except the mercenaries, but even then, sorry, there's nothing in this film was good. None of the special effects, none of the fight scenes, not even the deaths. The freaking death scenes should have been good. But no, they weren't. They were so disappointing. I really thought this film was going to be good. I really had high hopes that it would be decent and entertaining at least, but we didn't get any of that. This was a huge disappointment. I was very sad this film didn't do so well. And it's a shame too, because there is potential here, but they really messed that up. But the reason why it's not number one is because I think we all knew there was going to be something wrong with it, especially when there was the stories coming out about the certain person that had criminal records that he should not be allowed near kids. I don't know, maybe that is something the studio should have been doing, but then again it was Fox, so yeah, that was really bad. But because of that, I kind of figured, okay, there's something that's going to go wrong here, but should be okay. Should be okay. Alright, so, which one's the worst of the worst then? Which film of this year was the worst of the worst? They got a lot of build-up, got a lot of hype, but ended up being bad. It's The Nun. Annabelle got a lot of build-up, and it sucked. They had to do another prequel in order to save it, and they did. Ouija sucked. Ouija Origin of Evil was awesome. That creepy girl scared the hell out of me. This film should have learned the lessons of those other films. They should have learned that what needs to be scary in order to be a good scary film. Especially with a character like the Nun. The Nun, which we wanted to see since The Conjuring 2. We wanted to see the story. We wanted to see this character on the big screen, find out its origin, how it came to be, and its connections with the other Conjuring films. We did not get any of that. You know why? Because it sucked. Story, I really wanted to be invested with the story, and I did like the origin of Alec a little bit, but I got completely lost by it because of the multiple jump scare scenes. Jump scares. Jump scares. Jump scares. I would just stop. And it's not like apart, like minutes apart. It's like a few seconds apart. There's a jump scare. Okay, that was good. Oh no, there's another one. Just stop. Just calm down. Keep the jump scares to a minimum. Okay? Have it happen once, but make sure it's a good, legit fear. Build it up, and if they jump scare, that's great. It's because they actually feel that. That's fear. But these jump scares are just jump scare. That's it. Anybody can do a jump scare. And guess what? They get annoying very quickly, and that's what happened with this film. I could not follow the story at all because of the jump scares. I did not care about the characters because of the jump scares. I couldn't like Valak on this film because of the freaking jump scares. Predictable jump scares, mind you. Predictable jump scares that made this film so bad, made it so horrible, that you leave the film disappointed altogether. Yeah. The Nun, worst film this year. I'm just saying right now, worst film this year. So that's it, guys. If you have a different opinion about these films, leave some comments below. Let me know what you think. Hit the subscribe button, check my page, check out my Twitter page. If you have other films that you thought should have been on this list, or should have been the worst films of this year, leave in the comments below. Let me know what you think. So take care, everybody, and I'll see you next time. Give you more love and more entertainment. Bye.